Why did Gina choose to get married to her husband if she knew she had trust issues with men?
That stuff doesn't go away because you say I do. Didn't the experts know that Gina had trust issues with men? We have been seeing she and Clint go round and round the posy for 12 episodes. And she's now saying that she has trust issues with men, so that's why she can't open up. She is along the same line as Kristen.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's
the experts know this?
it's a question that I think needs to be answered for sure. Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series Married at First Sight, season number 16, episode number 12.
But before we get into it, please like, please share, please subscribe, and send us your comments. The comments we receive, we try to respond as soon as we can. Unless you cussing and fussing, you will be blocked, but otherwise, we can peacefully disagree with one another. That's how adult we are over at this channel.
This episode began with Clint FaceTiming David.
Clint has been sharing his experience with his boys. They are trying to encourage him and really move him forward, doing what he can do to get this marriage going in the right direction.
Yeah, it seems like to me that Clint has made again what I think is a fantastic choice and or decision, consulting with his married friends who have undergone or done the path that he is going down currently, who have been there and done that, and who can give him solid advice about things that he needs to consider as he's trying to get to know his wife.
Well, I like the idea that Clint is optimistic about his relationship going forward. The experts didn't go deep enough to really pull out that stuff that keeps them from getting into relationships.
Yeah, he's telling David that they have still have a lot to work on, but they're in a better place than when they started. He's genuinely and sincerely interested in getting to that place, in that space.
Dr. Pepper is supposed to meet with Clint and Gina,
And
and they sit down.
and Flint actually comes out and says, "Hey, look, we're in a place where we're closer. We are definitely closer. It's a better space. We're moving in the right direction. But we haven't gotten to the deeper parts yet." And I think in part, Clint wants to do it, but hasn't asked her, but has mentioned that he wants to do that. And Gina is, from her end, expecting him to say, "Okay, so ask me."
Well, I think both things can be true at the same time for both of them.
Mhm,
Clint needs to come out and ask Gina some direct questions,
mhm.
and Gina should be open to even expand when he does ask her a question. Dr. Pepper told them that they need to be more open and vulnerable with each other. That is what causes intimacy,
Mhm.
and that where they are now, they need to start sharing more intimate stuff that has happened to them in the past where they were vulnerable and share that so they know where each other are
Yeah,
and build something on that shared
and
vulnerability.
Clint, for his part, has said that he's trying to do that. He says, quite candidly that he, will tell you what you want, what Gina
Yeah,
wants to know, and that he's trying to be vulnerable. And I've seen that from him, haven't you?
yeah, he did admit last week that um he was expecting a child and the woman had a relationship with lost the baby,
Mhm.
and that I'm sure was traumatic and difficult period in his life because he wanted a child and he wanted to be in relationship with this woman, and
Yeah,
it did not
and
happen.
I think Gina acknowledged that in a
Right, but
confessional.
she didn't share anything substantive like he did.
Right, because I think, and this gets into what I think maybe Dr. Pepper had suggested to them that they need to kind of pay attention to. I'm talking about them as a couple, get locked into how they currently kind of communicate with one another in an effort to get to that deeper place. Maybe need to try a different style that they may not be accustomed to when it comes to dealing with the other.
They're living like brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? But
And
the
not,
doctor is saying that chemistry is created by being
yeah,
vulnerable.
they can't keep
So
doing
they
that
can't keep doing the brother and sister vibe they're
for the
doing.
friends vibe, if you
Right.
will. Yeah,
They gotta start getting vulnerable. So that develops chemistry.
right, and
Then you start
strengthens.
thinking about the person when they're not in your presence. Then you start doing kinder things with them. Then you start touching a little bit and you start feeling something.
Yeah, and all in an effort to strengthen that marital bond.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
So you don't feel chemistry with someone, you gotta check yourself and find out what are you not doing. Are you have you stopped being vulnerable with the person because that gets the juices flowing, so to speak.
And if one communication style is not working, you try
Right.
to adopt another.
Clint was hesitant in being forceful and asking these questions. He thought it was too mechanical. But based on the style that Gina likes, that's what he has to do.
And maybe in doing things that way, that vulnerability component as it relates to men and Gina's hesitancy to be vulnerable with men will kind of dissipate a little bit.
Right. Now knowing that her mom had to move around just to secure her children, and she now knowing that he had a deep loss, I think those are two things that they can build on with each other.
Cornerstones and/or building blocks. Couldn't agree
Absolutely.
with you more. Couldn't
Absolutely.
agree
And
more.
Gina need to get in that bed with Clint so they can have these conversations. You could tell that she wants to build on something, but she doesn't know how to do it, i.e., her coming into his room when the dog is there. You know what I mean? To have a conversation. She needs to come into that room even when the dog is not there and start talking to this man.
Proactively show that she is challenging this past, I guess, pattern that she's developed to be less vulnerable with men
Hmm. And
and be more vulnerable with her husband.
he got to start touching her. Let her get accustomed to his touch. Chemistry. The more they go vulnerable, the more touches, the more looking at each other, spending time with each other is going to help that chemistry to get going. And
Yeah.
that's what they have not been doing. That's why after 12 episodes, these people are still, I don't know if they're even kissing. I doubt it. She
Yeah.
said stuff changed. They stopped kissing after the honeymoon because of that upset they had.
Yeah. Did you
Then
get?
how are they going to get together?
Yeah. Did you get the impression, or did it did it seem to you that when Gina trusted Clint to get on his boat and all that, and she finally figured out that, hey, look, this is enjoyable. I see why you do it. I like this. That was a step in the right direction of trusting, being vulnerable, and trusting him to be able to do that, and find out that, hey, maybe this is something good.
Yeah, I think when he took her, they found that waterfall that they went to.
Hmm.
That was a good thing. When he took on the boat, that was a good thing. Find out more about her and do. What is it about her hips and bits she thinks is objectionable? That's what I'm talking about.
Agreed.
And that is deep. That
The
is a deeper
deeper crust
conversation.
that Clint claims he wants.
Yeah, and he could say, "Hey, you know what? Let me kiss these bits and chips and see if you're gonna feel better about it."
All right now. All
You
right
know,
now.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then he might end
Because
up,
with them,
and then he might end up in a position like Shaq found himself in. Huh?
who knows? But girl, you don't know what these bits and chips do to me. And let me demonstrate it. Please allow me to demonstrate what I'm talking
I'm
about.
sure he would welcome that.
Come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bits and chips can be a good thing, man.
And be kind to yourself. Some of us are not kind to ourselves. I remember a time when I wasn't kind to myself and it didn't go well for me. So just be kind and forgiving to yourself and see how that plays out. Have a good one. God bless. We love you
Yeah.
and we say thank you
Yeah. Thanks again.
and we're grateful for you.